It's time. Hello. Hi. It's been like half a month, but like maybe longer for this in particular. But I'm back to playing the Great Ace Attorney. Hello. I've been gone because I was busy for like a good chunk of May. And then I went on a short trip to California and went to Fanime. That was fun. And then I'm gonna have another trip at the end of the month. But before that, I want to see if I can get done episode 4 of Great Ace Attorney 2, because I really want to get through all the story. I really want to clear this game and get through all the story because I'm so excited to see where the hell this is going. Episode 3 ended on a pretty interesting cliffhanger with that whole reveal of who this Professor Killer guy is, and then it turns out it's Cosmo's dad? Question mark. So like, we're just gonna see where the hell this is going, honestly. So let's just jump right into it, you know?
Pipe in hand, Sholmes looked down at the thick, rolling fog outside our window. I wonder exactly how many mysteries are out there, hidden within this bed of fog, he said. Indeed, a most bizarre incident, born of a curious advertisement. A hellhound's mad gallop through the shadows of a serial murder, an executed man's graveyard resurrection in the dead of night. And a commonplace killing in a small, forgotten room at the edge of town. There is, naturally, always another side to every case, of which most remain ignorant. And it is that other side which compels me to the scene of the crime, Wilson. So quickly now, take your hat and let's be on our way, my dear fellow.
What is
For
this
our
about?
adventure is not over yet. Come, the game is afoot.
It looks like this is it. We're gonna really dive into this whole overarching mystery for the entire 2 games. Alright. 8 days after that earth-shattering trial and Cosmo regaining his memory, we were in the foyer of one of London's most luxurious hotels, the Great Waterloo Hotel. No, we haven't been in a hotel yet. Professor Nikotoba is due to arrive at any moment.
Yes, I'm so glad we got here in time.
Susato-san hasn't been the same since what happened. Not that I'm surprised.
The truth about Cosmo-sama's father. Do you suppose my father knew?
That he was actually the mass murderer? The professor, you mean? I knew that's what she was thinking about. There's a good chance, I'd say. I mean, they did come here to London together 16 years ago, didn't they?
Yes, that's true.
Come to think of it, didn't you say that Professor Mikotoba knew about Cosmo going missing in Hong Kong as well?
That's right, but for some reason he wasn't at liberty to talk to me about it.
That probably means he knows then. About Cosmo-sama, about Cosmo showing up here in London with amnesia, and that he's regained his memory now. Ah, there he is. Oh, it is him. Okay.
Oh, father!
Hello, Susato. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. We're delighted you've arrived safe and sound.
I don't remember what voice I actually used her, but it's been so long. How about we go with something more...
Don't misunderstand.
Okay.
Hello, Mr. Naruhodo. Very kind of you to take the trouble to meet us here.
Oh, wait. Maybe something else. It's been a while.
Oh no, not at all. It's my pleasure.
We've heard all about your extraordinary exploits here in London, you know. The news has crossed the seas.
It has?
I always look forward to reading the monthly reports that arrive with the steamships from Britain.
Oh, I see. Well, thank you very much. Who is this man? And why do I feel as though I've seen him before? That is the judge from Japan, right?
I take it from your expression you can't quite place me. In that case, how about a little reminder, Seishiro? A firm tap should do it. Yes.
A firm tap? What?
Here we go, then. I hereby pronounce the defendant, Ryunosuke Naruhodo, guilty.
Oh! You're...
The court will now hear the trial of Ryunosuke Naruhodo.
I haven't done my low voice stuff in a while, so it might be a little bit harder.
Your Excellency! Hello, Judge Chikoku. How are you? It's been a long time.
Good, you've remembered now. That really did the trick. Guilty.
Only I was declared not guilty, wasn't I? And there was no laughing at the time.
So, London again after all this time. Hard to believe it's been 10 years. To be honest, I never thought I'd be back. Neither did I. I didn't imagine Japan would ever be invited to an international symposium like this. Oh, really? I doubt anyone did, to be honest. It's all thanks to you, isn't it, Seishiro? What are you talking about, Eugene?
Of course. Judge Chikoku. He must complete the set. He's the other man who, 16 years ago, came to London with Cosmo-sama's... I keep saying Cosmo-sama because I think I'm so used to the noise doing it. With Cosmo's father and Professor Mikotoba. He's the third visiting scholar.
Well, all those passport checks and luggage searches at the border took rather a long time. I must say, I'm very envious of your ministerial status. You didn't have to go through any of that, did you? I knew you were jealous.
Sorry. Ministerial status?
Yes. Didn't you know? Seishiro here is also Japan's Minister of Foreign Affairs. It was his personal insistence that allowed you to take Cosmo's place here on the study tour. Guilty as charged.
Oh, well, thank you very much. He's really every bit as important as he looks. I don't know. I feel like I'm getting really close to my, like, strong heart voice for Mikotoba. So maybe...
Try not to misunderstand. I'll teach you how to brew the most perfect cup of coffee. How's that sound? Darn kids.
Maybe.
Yes, now. Not a hold. I received a telegram from Lord Strongheart yesterday.
Oh! You did?
It appears that some things came to light in the trial you were involved with 8 days ago. About what happened 10 years ago. That tragedy.
Yes. Could you tell us any more about it? It's very strange seeing Professor Mikotoba in, like, you know, a very English outfit. Was his mustache always that clean? You know? Or maybe it's just because I'm thinking of his, like... Oh, it even has this part... Huh. You know, when you look at this photo of him, he looks really Watson-y. You know? He has the hat, he has the mustache, and then he has his tie, and... Wonder if that'll pay off anywhere. So, how was the voyage here?
Well, 50 days at sea is a long time by anyone's standards. But it wasn't as bad as when we first came 16 years ago. No, that's true. Then I truly wondered if we wouldn't be drifting in the vast ocean for the rest of our lives. This time, we followed the same route as you, so we were able to relax and enjoy the experience.
Ah, so you stopped in France's beautiful capital, Paris?
We did, yes, though only for one night. And yesterday evening, we left the port of Dunkirk for Dover. Just in time for the symposium, in fact. It starts tomorrow.
It's wonderful that you were invited to attend such an important international event. I'm very proud of you, Father.
It's thanks to Seishiro here, 16 years ago, he managed to ingratiate himself with Britain's Attorney General. I'm sure that's why he was invited. And I suppose you could say I'm something of an appendage by default. Speak for yourself, Eugene. Eugene.
I keep saying Eugene, but it sounds like Eugene. Okay. Which is Eugene. Eugene. Nah, hard.
Speak for yourself, Eugene. You were close friends with the professor of forensic science at a major hospital. Yes, well, I'd rather not dredge all that up, really. No. There's been a lot of water under the bridge since then, but it doesn't bring him back.
Kazuma's father, I suppose. Interesting, though, that they're a trio. Kinda makes me think back to Dual Destinies when we had that group of friends, that one that wanted to be a judge, one that wanted to be a lawyer, and then one who wanted to be a prosecutor. The professor, the killer who took the lives of 5 members of the British aristocracy, was actually Cosmo's father, wasn't he?
That's correct. Genshin Asogi.
Genshin.
You knew, I presume, Father?
Yes. He was a close friend at the time. Genshin came to Britain as a police detective. He was studying investigative techniques at Scotland Yard. I've never understood what drove the man to commit such heinous acts. It was a closed trial, so the public never knew the truth, and he was executed with little ado. To this day, very few people know what really happened, even in our homeland.
But what about Cosma?
Did he know? Did he know? Did he know the truth about his father?
No, of course not. He was told his father passed from sickness. However, I suspect he may have had his doubts.
Oh! Why?
As you know, I tried to guide Cosmo growing up as if he were my own son. And one day, he came to my office at the university and said,
I've decided I want to travel to Great Britain and study there. Do you think? He wanted to come here to investigate his father's death?
I don't know. But when I looked into his eyes, I didn't know that there was no way I'd be able to stop him.
Something else came to light in that trial the other day, actually.
Oh? What?
Well, having disappeared in Hong Kong and been missing for almost a year, Cosmo's since turned up here in London, working as the apprentice of Lord Van Zeeks.
What? What? That's news to us!
So, Lord Strongheart's telegram neglected to mention that part then.
Yeah, that's really crucial information that he would leave out. Like, Strongheart, I was just like, I really hope this guy's not the villain, but he really is taking every opportunity to just pretty much blatantly say, I think he's pretty much, he might be the villain. But I guess we'll see. As you know, we both thought Cosmo had died on the steamship during our voyage to Great Britain in January. But he didn't die. He's alive. As you knew, didn't you, Father?
In actual fact, no. What I didn't know is that when your ship docked in Hong Kong, he mysteriously vanished. We sent a team of investigators to Hong Kong to try to ascertain what had happened, but to no avail. But he's still alive? And here in London, you say? I never dared even to dream it. Why on earth did the young man not make contact? The government and the police have been chasing clues fruitlessly for months now.
Well, it seems that he was suffering from amnesia.
What? Amnesia?
When we first came across him again here in London, he didn't know who either of us were.
I see.
He only regained his memory 8 days ago.
This is unbelievable. Yes, it's quite miraculous. I wonder why Lord Strongheart didn't let us know. I must speak with him urgently.
I wonder how Cosmo's been these past few days. Would it be wrong of us to go and visit him?
That began 16 years ago now. It's a distant memory, really. It was Eugene here, Genshin, Osogi, and myself. We were the original 3. The first judicial scholars from Japan to travel overseas to study. Ocean voyages were not what they are today, I can tell you.
16 years ago, things were tough for their generation.
Your father was an exceptionally fine medical student at UMA University at the time, you know, young lady.
Yes, grandmother told me.
He went to do research at a great London hospital to study autopsy. Practically unheard of in Japan. Yes, it was an eerie place, Sandwiched between the back of a prison and a burial ground.
Ugh, not more talk of graves.
Very often, there's no one willing to deal with bodies following autopsy work. So you see, autopsy labs have something of an unavoidable relationship with graveyards and prisons.
Not my cup of tea at all.
You remember that Scottish prison governor? Kaiden, his name was. He was a good man. Yes. But then, of course, in our 6th year here, everything changed with that dreadful case. When Genshin was arrested for a series of the most gruesome murders. I simply couldn't believe it. I'd known the man for years. I was a witness at a secret hearing, and I tried to speak in his defense, but you went a little too far and ended up facing charges yourself, didn't you? Well, suffice to say that after that trial, we were sent back to Japan. There was nothing more we could do to save Genshin. He was a lost cause, sadly. Well, if you'll excuse us now. Yes, I'd like to get this trunk up to my room as soon as possible.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I shouldn't have held you up here for so long.
I'll call for the porter then. Just wait here.
Susato-san's gone off at a run.
I'd like to stay and talk more, but I do have various preparations to make for tomorrow.
Yes, of course. It must be a very big responsibility representing our entire country. I wish you the best of luck.
Naruhodo. I hope you'll keep your eye on Susato for me. Keep looking after her, as you obviously have been.
Oh, no, I mean, if anyone's been looking after anyone, it's her looking after me.
Well, I do appreciate you being there for her, after all. I've been a miserable father to her. I've thoroughly let her down.
Sorry? What do you mean?
Well, it was 16 years ago now that I started my long study tour here in Britain, as you know. The very year Susato was born.
Yes, I heard.
The birth of my daughter was the most joyous event of my life. But, well, sadly, it was accompanied by the most tragic event of my life, too.
Oh. Yes. Susato-san hinted at something like that.
It was a rather turbulent time at home.
Anyway, I won't bore you with the details. The point is, I became rather less dependable than befits a grown man. And it was then that Seishiro offered me the opportunity to study here in Great Britain. I was too worried about you to leave you behind. So perhaps I was a little heavy-handed when it came to persuading you to accompany me to London. So, that's what happened in a nutshell. And that's also the reason why I now feel compelled to give my daughter as many opportunities as I dare. Though the world does not readily afford young women such things, I must say.
I completely understand, Professor.
One other thing, Naruhodo. If I may be so bold, I have a favor to ask you.
Oh, really? Of course! What can I do for you?
Well, the thing...
I'm so sorry that it took so long.
Miss Susato!
Now then, allow us to take your bet.
Wasn't he the guy from, like, the second case of the first game? It is Porter.
Allow me to take your bags. One moment, if you please, Porter. Of course, sir.
The machine around your neck. It's a camera, I believe.
Quite right, sir. This 5 shillings for a lovely photograph to commemorate a wonderful stay at the hotel, sir.
Well, I think given the occasion, we could justify the expense.
Yes, yes, of course.
I'd like to thank you for coming with me, Mr. Naruhodo. It's really made Father very happy, I think.
Oh, well, I'm pleased then. But we were interrupted before. Professor Mikotoba was about to ask me something.
Shall we return to Baker Street then? I expect Iris will have some delicious tea waiting for us.
Yeah, let's go. I'm getting more and more anxious about Cosmo, though. Perhaps I'll try to meet with Lord Strongheart later and ask after him. Well, shall we head to Baker Street then? Do 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 do. Who? What was that?
A man screaming? In a most unflattering way. Or in a most unflattering way.
Do you think... Could it have been Mr. Sholmes?
Oh my, I do hope not.
Who? Raggedy Ann and Raggedy Andy? Is that what... Who? Who are you people? Well, that's definitely... or something, right? Oh god, what the heck do I even do for these people? I don't do it anymore! Mon ami, mon ami! Stop this disgraceful display! Who are these people? Look at their hair! It's bright red!
I think they must be clients of Mr. Sholmes. Right, you two. You're coming with me now, down to the clink.
No, not the prison! This is dark and damp and I don't like it! Woof! The darkness, it is my friend. I am not scared. But you're always scared of the dark. Oh, shut your mouth, you idiot! I will sit quietly in the dark and plan our next starring heist. I don't like this. I don't like it.
Well, finish is down the yard. Now get you moving.
Oh, he stopped crying real quick.
Bye then, Ginny. Have fun. Oh yeah, thanks Iris, and thanks you great detective.
The hell did he do? What happened? What happened? Why were they here? What the fuck is going on?
Gina makes a fine detective herself, doesn't she?
Sure.
Oh, Susie and Runo.
Hello, Iris. We're home.
Well, did you find your daddy? Daddy?
Okay. Ugh, I don't like saying that.
Yes, we arrived at the hotel just before he and his friend. Oh, well, that's great news. I hope I'll get to see my daddy again soon, too. Yes, of course.
I don't know what to tell you, Iris, but he's fucking dead. Dr. John H. Wilson. I'm gonna assume this is Sholmes.
So, Iris, all that remains now is that greatest of problems known to man.
Why is his hair red?
But before we concern ourselves with that, I believe some tea is in order, don't you, my dear fellows?
It's Ronald McDonald.
Is something wrong, Mr. Naruhodo? Do I have a crumb or such like on my face?
Not so much on your face as on your head, I'd say.
Come along then, everyone. I've brewed a lovely special blend. Time for tea. Whatever is going on in here today?
In that case, let us sit and drink now, for I am in fact expecting a guest later today.
It's just so distractingly red.
Mr. Sholmes, who were the two gentlemen that were here before?
Oh, just a pair of petty criminals, nothing of significance. Of course, they have to make a living somehow. And when the mood takes me, I'm willing to turn a blind eye to all manner of infractions.
When the mood takes you?
All manner of infractions?
But when such fellows set their sights on Mr. Herlock Sholmes, well, that's when their luck runs out.
Oh my, you were the target of a crime, Mr. Sholmes?
But I quickly devised a plan to entrap them and deliver them to our young detective ally.
You should have asked Gregsy to come too. We could have had an arresting tea party.
I did send word, but no answer was forthcoming. The man is consummately in the wrong place at the wrong time. There's a word for it, I'm sure. Aha! I have it! A bungler, that's the word.
It's a good job he's not here to hear you say that. So those redheads had been up to go good?
I wonder what the men did.
The greatest problem. What was that about the greatest of problems known to man that you mentioned before?
Is it another fiendishly intricate case, Mr. Sholmes?
How should I best explain it? Are you aware of the theory of evolution by natural selection, perchance?
Well, I think I've heard talk of it somewhere, possibly.
It's a revolutionary scientific theory that was newly proposed 40 years ago now. According to its author, Mr. Darwin, we humans were once apes who lived in the treetops.
Wait, what? We were apes?
Indeed. And from the very moment those apes descended from the canopy to live as humans, it has been our lot to be at the mercy of the greatest problem known to man.
Our lot? What is this great problem, Mr. Sholmes?
Why, is it not obvious, my dear madam? The problem of rent.
But Did you not receive a rather large sum of money from Madame to spells only the other day?
Sure, a large sum. One potted herb for Iris and a new motor car for me later, and all of it has quite disappeared, I assure you.
Honestly, Hurley, you know you squandered it.
Yes. Well, anyway, 2 days ago, I discovered the answer to a man's greatest problem, for the coming month at least.
And what was the answer?
Why, there is a substantial clue before your very eyes.
Don't tell me. Let's see.
Humans are sorry creatures, unable to see what is in front of their noses. Let me give you some assistance. Don't look, but observe me very closely. There is one particular feature about my person that has changed. You should notice it in the end, I think.
In the end? It's been stabbing me in both eyes right from the very beginning of our conversation.
I think we might need another clue before we uncover the full answer, Mr. Naruhodo.
Thanks for the hint. I'll be tearing my hair out if this charade goes on much longer. The lie you told. What about the hair, though? Mr. Sholmes, isn't it about the time you told us the truth? Just over a week ago, you said to us.
I will now tell you something of the first importance, my dear fellow. Great detectives are wont to lie. It will serve you well to remember that.
What does that mean? That case aboard the SS Broria in January. Kazuma wasn't killed, and you knew he wasn't dead at the time. So what was really going on?
The fellow was unconscious for a very long time. If he hadn't regained consciousness when he did, his life would have been in mortal peril. Of course, a side effect of the prolonged comatose state was amnesia, as you now know. It was a simple enough task to silence the crew.
But how?
After they carried him out of the cabin, I assembled them in the lobby area.
Oh?
Then I made them swear to leave him unconscious and have him unlaid from the ship in Hong Kong as a murdered corpse.
Oh, how horrible.
It was necessary to find some material with which to persuade the crewmen to keep their word, of course.
But why? Why do it in the first place?
I will be at liberty to elaborate in due course. No, due course. Whoa. But for the time being, I would like to reassure you. I didn't foresee subsequent events.
What events?
His disappearance in Hong Kong.
Oh.
I believe I may have made a gross error of judgment.
Mr. Sholmes? Okay, we're back to this music, I guess. We don't have anything else to say to him? Okay. Okay, this one says we haven't been here for a while, so let's go there, and then maybe we'll get some dialogue. That usually seems to be the trigger words. Oh, yep.
Here's the final draft for the opening address for tomorrow's proceedings. I've supplemented your original with the figures you asked for from the yard. I see. Excellent work. Thank you. You're welcome, my lord.
What's Lord Van Zeek's doing here?
My, there seems to be an awful lot of tension in the air, wouldn't you say?
This place is stifling enough as it is. We really don't need any more tension.
My apologies. I didn't notice you come in. Your small stature and dark dress make you all but invisible to me.
Oh, no, it's entirely my fault for wearing black, I'm sure.
From now on, you must dress in white from head to toe whenever you come here.
Now then, Mr. Naruhodo.
Yes, my lord. I'm right here. Kill me now.
Is something wrong? Perhaps it's a little too hot in here for you.
Oh, no, not at all. I mean, I've never experienced a room at such a perfect temperature.
If you're sure, the beads of sweat carving their way down your face seem to suggest otherwise.
Because of the daggers you're staring at me with, mainly.
As you're no doubt aware, my International Forensic Science Symposium begins tomorrow. In fact, your father arrived in London earlier today, I hear, madam.
Oh, yes, that's right, my lord. He's extremely honored to have been invited.
I'll leave the remaining preparations for the meeting room in your capable hands, then, Lord Van Zeeks.
I will attend at once.
Oh, there he goes.
He gave you a very cold stare as he left, didn't he?
I know, but I haven't done anything. Have I?
These past few days, my feet have barely touched the ground, I must say. My dedicated right hand of many years was recently put out of action in spectacular fashion.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Is your left hand still of service?
Mr. Naruhodo, he's talking about Dr. Scythe.
Scythe, whatever. Ah, of course. I'm terribly sorry about that. I was just,
Fear not, you've done nothing wrong. Dr. Scythe's wrongdoing precipitated the situation. You needed to concern yourself with it any further.
That would be a lot easier to do if it weren't for the piercing stare you're giving me.
Lord Van Zeeks is doing an admirable job of holding the fort. Though, disturbingly, his apprentice has been missing since yesterday.
Oh. Missing?
What's become of Kazuma-sama now?
I'm gonna be real. I think Strongheart's like my favorite one of the boys because I really
Like doing this very prim and proper voice in deep tone.
It's like, I don't know what it is. Just, I just really like that tone. It's just really, really, really fun to do.
Very secure and very focused.
You know? I don't really get to do that voice very often for the voice stuff I do. So occasionally on my own, for other people. But yeah, it's really fun.
Not long ago, visitor numbers to the Great Exhibition exceeded 30 million.
30 million? Are there even that many people in the world?
As a comparison, Mr. Naruhodo, the population of the imperial capital, Tokyo, is 2 million.
I will be opening the International Forensic Science Symposium in the exhibition's main auditorium. This event has been 2 years in the making. 2 years of preparations and negotiations with other countries.
It sounds like a tremendous achievement. Congratulations.
The 20th century will see the wholesale adoption of forensic investigation techniques, and cooperation between policing organizations around the globe will be essential. Which is why this landmark first symposium had to be hosted here at the heart of our great British Empire, in order that Scotland Yard can become the leading investigative organization in the New World.
He's the same as ever, I see. That passion of his is quite something.
You're every bit as passionate in your own way. I'm sure, Mr. Naruhodo.
I'm the only person in this country who truly cares about a future that embraces forensic science. It was my intention to become Her Majesty's Attorney General, and reform the art from the ground up. So, the disgrace of the forensic investigation team has been a bitter blow to my ambitions.
Let's try to do the Mystic Apprentice before we go to that new one that popped up. I think it might be prudent. About Lord Van Zeek's apprentice.
Ah, yes. That came as a surprise to me, I must say, that you and he are old friends.
How did he become an apprentice to Lord Van Zeek's in the first place?
He came about 3 months ago. An unidentified Asian man was apprehended by border police. They found him hiding aboard a large goods vessel.
Huh.
Oh my, so he stowed away to get here.
We had no papers to identify him, no passport, and he was suffering from amnesia too. Other than the fact he was clearly of Eastern descent, there were no clues as to who he was. So I decided to assign him to Lord Van Zeek's. That way I could keep an eye on him.
But then, why the mask?
I didn't want to burden Lord Van Zeek's with tiresome explanations about why he had an Eastern apprentice.
Because it would be so much easier to explain why he was wearing a mask?
He's proving to be a great help to Lord Van Zeek's. I have high hopes for his future.
By the way, do you know where he's gone?
No idea, but I believe he's left London for the time being.
Oh, where would he go then?
Oh.
I take it you also didn't know that the man's father was one of our country's most infamous criminals, I mean.
Genshin Asogi. Oh, wow, we actually got 2 pop-ups this time. Normally that doesn't happen. Unless, like, you present something.
I first established the forensic investigation team a year ago, experimentally to start with. With Dr. Scythe at the helm, it was steadily accruing an impressive record of achievement. I was on the verge of changing its name and elevating its status to a full-blown forensic investigation department.
And can you not do that now?
Obviously, nobody wants to hear anything about it at the moment. Even I can't keep this story out of the papers. 6 million Londoners will be cursing forensic science now. This incident will set back our country's advancement in the field by a good 10 years, I'd say.
Unintended repercussions of our trial.
We simply couldn't have overlooked what had happened, though.
Of course not. We should all be grateful to you both. Anyway, I'll still reform this country's policing when I become Attorney General. This might delay my plans, but it won't alter them. Nothing will stand in my way.
That's a very villain line. Like, as good as his intentions sound, like, he really is coming off very heavily as he's probably going to be the endgame villain of this entire two-game saga. What we learned from that trial 8 days ago was a huge shock. Finding out my friend's father was...
Ah yes, Genshin Osoge. The professor case 10 years ago caused a great stir here in Britain.
They were such awful murders, and unprecedented, using a ferocious dog as a murder weapon.
And no one would have believed the culprit was a foreign student invited to study here by the government.
I can't really see a motive for this, though, still, despite all this.
So the true identity of the killer couldn't be made public then, and can't be made public now. Nobody in your country knows it was him, and neither do the citizens of London.
The main motivation was to avoid aggravating relations between our two nations at the time, as I understand it.
Correct. However, it has to be noted that there were some supporters of the professor's apparent cause.
What? Supporters of a mass murderer?
The majority of the man's victims were a blight on the aristocracy of the day. Somewhat ironically, their deaths actually benefited society as a whole. Or so a fair few thinkers in London believed anyway.
Right. I see. But it was still murder, wasn't it? That's a really grim way to look at it, though.
It seems very similar, doesn't it? To the idea of the Reaper of the Bailey.
Wow, that's it? No Sholmes? I guess that's it for now. Are you sure we've asked everything we need to? Oh, did I miss something here? I guess I have to examine stuff now. Okay. Oh. I didn't notice the Cosmo mask. Oh, and there's a very detailed newspaper. I probably should look at these.
This looks like last week's edition.
What's that article circled in red ink over there? I mean, there.
It's an advertisement column. It says... To the Red-Headed League.
The Red-Headed League? What's that?
I don't know. I've never heard of it before, but...
Yeah, that might be a hint.
Is something on my face?
Clearly, this has something to do with that lively hair. Red-Headed League article has been added to the court record. Okay, let's look at it, actually. To the Red-Headed League, on account of the bequest of the late Hezekiah Hopkins of Lebanon, PA, USA, there is now another vacancy open which entitles a member of the League to a salary of £4 a week for purely nominal services? What? Okay. All red-headed men who are sound in body and mind and above the age of 21 years are eligible. Apply in person on the morning of the 31st at the large park on Lime Street. Get £4 per week if you are a redhead. That's oddly specific. Actually, are there anything else interesting in this newspaper? Let's just look, give a nice little look-see. Let's see. Public health report. Despite the condition of the City of London itself of late, it has been a positive year so far in public health. There have been fewer cases of consumption reported.
when compared to the last time last year, and smallpox is at an all-time low, thanks to the vaccinations offered at the smallpox and fever hospitals throughout the various parts of London. Doctors, however, warned that there appears to be the beginning of yet another cholera epidemic on the horizon. Although the cause of such outbreaks remains unclear, the public is strongly advised to drink only water which has previously been boiled. Retrospective continued on page 1. Truly, more than any other nation, Britain has been successful in its endless effort, in its endeavors, thanks in part to the generosity of its many investors and its long illustrious tradition of fostering inquiries into the sciences. Lest it be forgotten, she is the nation that gave to the world the genius of Sir Isaac Newton. However, there is one other factor at work: the shifting field of economic thought. Despite the fact that Adam Smith's magnum opus, The Wealth of Nations, was published in 1776, the doctrine of laissez-faire has only begun to truly take root in the last few decades. It remains to be seen just how influential and enduring his ideas were proved to be. So these are like very probably prominent to like the actual time period, which is really cool to me. Also, they're really fun to read. St. Bartholomew's Hospital. The latest research findings and leading hypothesis this month from the teaching hospital in London. Oh. There is an emerging consensus among doctors and scientists of all nations whereby the theory of miasma is being soundly rejected as experiment after experiment has yielded conclusive evidence in support of what physician John Snow had concluded many years prior, that there is a strong correlation between contaminated water and the prevalence of certain diseases. In fact, third line. The latest news to arrive from the continent is consistent with our own research into the so-called germ theory, by which minuscule microorganisms are the actual causes of a great many illnesses. The medical community has already begun in earnest to identify and categorize the tiny creatures as microbes. As microscopes also continue to improve through the dedicated work of London's famous instrument makers. We expect that in the coming years, improved instrumentation will allow us to see the germs with further clarity and in greater detail as never before. I actually learned about that whole germ thing from like Jumpstart 3rd grade, if I remember correctly, because there was like a whole segment where it's like there's like a whole question segment of that game where it was like, what did they first discover under microscopes or something like that? And it was like the basically villain of the game was Polly, and she was basically a really smart girl, and she kind of just bullshitted her entire test. That's like the entire premise of Jumpstart 3rd grade. And then because she was like bullshitting her entire test because she thought it'd be funny, she thought the teacher would understand, but no, the teacher ended up grading her test like, you know, normally. So she got mad because she got an F, and she was like, I can't show that to my dad. So she went back in time with his time machine, sent robots that she reprogrammed to do specific tasks in the past, make her answers correct, so that she would get an A on her test. So that you had to go back in time to fix all those things so that everything was back normal so she would fail. And then there was like one particular question that had to do with microscopes, and then I think the way she answered it was that when they looked under their microscopes, the first thing they saw was like germs taking baths, or tiny people taking baths, and you know, just taking baths or whatever. And they were so scared that they were freaked out or something. So like she sent a robot that's for some reason built by her father to just be extremely messy for no fucking reason. I don't remember why, but she reprogrammed him so that he would take a bath under the microscope and be tiny, which was oddly specific. I don't know if anyone else grew up with these games, but it's like one of the that game I just remember very prominently from my childhood. That and Jumpstart 4th grade, because the plot premises of those two games are really something. Like they're very much plots that you would think of when you were young, you know? But they were very funny and amusing. And that's the only reason why I know that germ thing that I just read. Sorry for that tangent.
Okay, I am drinking a lot of water actually right now, so I'm gonna be right back real quick. So let me look for my be right back text. Okay, so I'll be back real quick. Okay. That was a quick BRB. Alright. So let's go examine this mask now. The mask Cosmo wore when he was assigned to Lord Van Zieks as his apprentice. When he cast it aside after the trial the other day, I just sort of picked it up.
We ought to give it back to him, I suppose.
But he has his memory back now, doesn't he? And I can't help feeling he might turn around and tell me coldly to wear it myself.
But isn't he your best friend?
So I think that article might be just enough to continue the plot a little bit, you know? So let's present this to Sholmes. It looks as though someone circled an advertisement in this paper, Mr. Sholmes.
To the Red-Headed League? Does that strike you in some way?
I was thinking that just maybe it might be related to your bright red hair.
So, at last you've learned to apply my methods, Mr. Naruhodo.
Sorry?
In the first instance, and quite indispensable, observation.
Believe me, I could have seen that hair with my eyes shut.
So then, allow me to regale you with the details of my latest exploits.
Regale or boast? So, what is the Red-Headed League, which seems to be the subject of the advertisement you circled?
You noticed it in the paper, then? That, my dear fellow, was going to be the source of this month's rent payment.
It was? How?
According to the advertisement, the Red-Headed League is a distinguished institution of fellows of unspecified governance. In fact, the only condition for becoming a member is having red hair.
That doesn't entirely surprise me.
But listen to what the lucky redheads receive once they join. An unconditional salary of £4 a week.
Oh my, £4 a week? But why? What are they paying for?
That I don't know. No details are given in the advertisement.
But surely every red-headed person in the country would be flocking to join in that case? You're right, Susie. There's no time to lose. I'll put in my application at once.
So will I. Just
On the off chance.
That might be stretching a point, I think.
The trouble is, they have a fixed number of members, you see?
Oh, I see. So once a certain number of people have joined, people have joined, no one else can. But as luck would have it, one member recently passed away.
It wasn't particularly lucky for the redheaded in question, I feel, Mr. Sholmes.
So you decided to try join in his place? Correct. I mean, look at me. Have you ever seen such a red-headed fellow? No. So why? Why did it have to go so wrong? What on earth happened? A blunder, Mr. Naruhodo. Though it pains me to admit it. Your blood. What the fuck did you do?
What did you actually do to your hair, Mr. Sholmes?
I'm glad you asked, Mr. Sato. What you see atop my head is neither dyed nor a hairpiece. I changed the color of my hair overnight by the wonders of chemistry. Chemistry? Oh, he invented hair dye? No, wait. Wait, not hair dye. He... Neither dyed nor hair... Oh, like you changed your genetic makeup? Really? Alright. I was conducting some research into a method of rejuvenating spent tea leaves. And in the course of my work, I stumbled upon a potion that, when taken, turns one's hair a flame-like red. Would you like to try it? It will make every hair on your body perfectly crimson. I think I'll pass.
But, Mr. Sholmes, is it quite safe to drink? Surely it's bad for you, isn't it?
Amateurs are always hampered by such fears.
Oh! I should have never doubted you, Mr. Sholmes. You mean to say...
But of course. To earn 4 pounds a week, one must be prepared to turn a blind eye to a little danger.
Let's get dangerous!
Darkwing Duck. When there's trouble, you called it up. Anyways. That degree of red signals more than just a little danger, surely.
So anyway, Hurley left full of confidence yesterday with his new red hair. For the park on Lime Street where the Redheaded League were interviewing prospective new members.
So what went wrong? The whole park was choked with red-headed folk like a coaster's orange barrow. I queued for 8 hours solid before at last I reached front. But when the panel of interviewers saw me, they immediately said, "Ah, Mr. Herlock Sholmes, are you in disguise to conduct an investigation?" So, naturally, I had no choice but to reply, "Shh! Don't give me away." After which I could do little else but turn and leave. Then this morning, when I looked in the mirror, irritation stirred within me. So I turned that pair in to the police.
Oh dear, what a disaster for Hurley and those 2 redheads.
So he had the league members go to jail. Oh my god, the pettiness is real. The pettiness. I can't believe he'd do this. Nah, I can't believe it. No, I can 100% believe he'd do something stupid like that. This motherfucker. Ding-a-ling-a-ling. Aha! Here is my guest now. My latest client, with money to spend.
Oh, I do hope it's an exciting case, Hurley.
Remember, Iris, we are at present gripped by the greatest problem known to man. I must be willing to accept any case, no matter how unstimulating, save locating a runaway, of course.
Don't spare anyone's feelings, will you?
Oh dear, I'm afraid the Hurley can lack a little tact, especially just before the rent is due.
Thwack. Oh, it's this lady. From, like, the last trial. In the jury. What did I make her sound like again? Yeah, we'll just mess around.
Mr. Sholmes, Mr. Herlock Sholmes, please. Oh, please. Please find my husband. He's run away.
What? He ran away.
To upset me?
I beg your pardon?
Never mind, a personal matter. My apologies.
What exactly are you trying to say, Mr. Naruhodo? I didn't say a word.
Come, my dear madam, be seated. Iris, some tea, if you please.
Of course.
What's the matter, Mrs. Sato?
Oh, it's just that gentlewoman. I feel sure I've seen her somewhere before. Very recently.
Yes, now that you come to mention it.
As I explained earlier, my name is Evie Vigil. I implore you to take the case, sir. Money is no object. Simply name your figure.
Money and wealth are of little consequence to me, madam. Being offered a case to solve is reward enough.
Sholmes, you need Sholmes the rent payment. The Sholmes the rent.
Oh, Mr. Sholmes, you are the picture of benevolence.
I will, of course, make a mental note of your offer, however, for contingent reasons. I trust you will remember your words also?
If I might inquire, sir. This gentleman and lady would be...
Oh, me?
What I am about to tell you, I should like to communicate in the strictest confidence, you understand?
Why am I giving her an accent? I don't know.
Ah, these are my friends. I assure you, you may say before this pair anything which you may say to me.
Ah, I see.
I can vouch for the gentleman personally, after all. He's hard of hearing.
Why did I ever get my hopes up? Oh, I guess we're talking to her now. Forgive me for asking, Miss Vigil, but have we met somewhere before? Quite recently, perhaps?
Oh my!
Pshaw, my dear fellow, what is your intention?
Clearly you have no ability. Oh, that's an ambulance. Something.
Clearly you have no ability to differentiate the facial features of the English. If you wish to invite the lady to tea, you must do so in a more gentlemanly fashion.
Is it possible that you're the nice young lawyer from the trial I attended last week?
I knew I recognized her.
To have a man's fate in the palm of one's hand. Oh gosh. Oh golly, it sends shivers down my spine.
Oh yeah, I think it was something like that with how her dialogue is. I don't remember. I didn't quite recognize her because she's acting so differently now.
It must be very difficult for you as a lawyer. Being hard of hearing, I mean.
Pardon?
Oh dear, I'm so sorry. Don't worry if you can't hear. I was... It was frippery, really. Nothing more.
Now look what you've started, Mr. Sholmes. Thank you very much.
I believe it would be prudent for you to sit quietly in the corner.
Yes. Why are we still talking there, then? Okay, there we go.
Tell us about your husband, madam.
Mr. Vigil Maitele is 40 years of age. I have a photograph here.
An entirely unremarkable gentleman by appearance, at least. How long have you been married?
It will be 15 years this year. We have a cordial relationship and my husband's income is more than adequate, so we live quite comfortably.
As it would appear, I need only look at you to know these things.
Oh gosh.
Your dress is the latest style, your hat clearly regularly groomed, and your eyes are animated. In short, you have no inkling as to why your husband might have disappeared, correct?
That's right. He's a kind man with a strong sense of loyalty, and he rather dotes on me.
Which would point to the possibility that he has become embroiled in some incident or another.
Oh, that is exactly what I fear must have happened. Mr. Sholmes, I'm quite beside myself. My husband's employment is somewhat unusual, you see. What if he's incurred some miscreant's ill will?
What exactly is your husband's line of work?
He's a warder at the prison.
A guard? That is somewhat unusual. What did the judge exclaim after the defendant passed gas in the courtroom? Odor. Odor in my court. Thank you for the joke.
So, your husband is a prison warder.
That's right, yes. Well, in fact, he's the chief warder.
Indeed.
I see.
Well, chief prison warder certainly qualifies as something of a specialist occupation.
Yes, it does indeed. My poor husband must prepare those dreadful punishments and see they're carried out.
Dreadful punishments? Does she mean capital punishments?
And at such times, he must occasionally spend
Oh, that's right. There goes the siren again. Oh, there it goes.
He must spend a night or two in the prison dormitory. But for that extra responsibility, he is remunerated. He is remunerated more handsomely than the other warders.
Remunerated? Words.
Of course, we make no mention of my husband's work to the neighbors.
Yes, I believe your prudence is justified. Tell me, at what prison is your husband engaged?
Barclay Prison, Mr. Sholmes.
Really? Barclay? Oh, a fine establishment. If I'm not mistaken, there is a large cemetery just behind it.
Yes, that's correct. Lowgate Cemetery.
No! Lowgate Cemetery? The very place we were discussing in court? That's unbelievable!
Unbelievable, my dear fellow.
And yet, undeniable.
Sorry, Mr. Sholmes. I'm afraid you've lost me.
Ah, pay no heed, madam. Pay no heed. A private matter.
This can't really be a coincidence. Can it? Huh. I wonder if her husband had anything to do with the professor case at all. Like if he was the person who like went through with the whole the execution. That would be really interesting if that's how it's connected.
So, to the matter of your husband's disappearance. When did you realize he was missing?
Please try not to laugh. It was yesterday.
I'm sorry?
Yesterday? That really is recent. Laughably so.
The truth is, my husband does at times have occasion to spend the night away from his work. It's not at all out of the ordinary for him to not return at night, but this is different. For him to not make any contact for a whole day, that has certainly never happened before. Oh, my dear Daily. Whatever can have happened?
My dear Miss Vigil, please calm yourself. Now then, have you contacted the police?
Why, naturally, but sadly, they refuse to listen to my pleas as my husband has only been missing for 1 day. I asked to wait patiently at home. Oh, I was asked to wait patiently at home.
In truth, Miss Vigil, I concur with the police. However, let us not be hasty. I see no reason why we should not engage my deductive powers to track your husband down anyway. I have rent to pay.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Sholmes.
And furthermore, let me assure you, a chance to solve the greatest problem known to man for another month has no bearing on my decision. I seek only to put a sweet smile on another Londoner's face. That's really all there is to it.
You have my eternal gratitude. I shall pay any sum you care to mention.
You seek only to put this sweet rent in your landlady's purse. That's all there is to it.
Thank you for everything you have shared with us, Miss Vigil. I believe I have all the information I need to begin my investigation.
Oh, please report to me soon. Good news, sir.
Fear not, madam. In a day or two, I shall be contacting you with a heartening report, I'm quite sure.
So soon? Oh, how splendid, Mr. Sholmes.
Good news should be delivered early, as I always say. If you would be so kind as to leave the photograph of your husband in my possession.
A photographic print received from Miss Vigil in order to aid with locating her missing husband. He appears to have no particularly distinctive facial features. Basically, we're saying Homeboy is plain, you know? We're saying he's plain as fuck.
Thank you. Now, allow me to show you the door.
I can't thank you enough, Mr. Sholmes. You've been simply marvelous.
And there she goes.
You know, I think it every time, Hurley. But how do you come out with such nonsense? Good news in a day or two? Are you sure?
I can't be sure, of course, but then I didn't swear on it. I merely gave the good woman some hope. I hope to be able to give her good news, one might say. After all, the rent must be paid by the end of the day tomorrow. If by that time I've successfully located Mr. Vigil, we shall be mutually relieved. Wouldn't you agree, Mr. Naruhodo?
Don't look at me with those pleading eyes.
Well, my dear fellow, did you hear the details of the case?
Yes. My hearing is surprisingly good, actually.
Excellent! And what did you make of it?
Well, I was surprised to learn where her husband works. At Barclay Prison, I mean.
Ah, so you noted that.
Of course, especially with the mention of Lowgate Cemetery.
Lowgate Cemetery is at the rear of Barclay Prison. So it was renowned among us students at the university for being haunted by the ghosts of condemned convicts.
Barclay Prison is where that notorious man was incarcerated.
The professor. And now a warder from the prison has mysteriously disappeared, it would seem. It's all very peculiar. Indeed. Indeed, but nothing you can't handle, I'm quite certain, Mr. Naruhodo.
Sorry?
Run along to the prison and see what you can glean, would you? It's the prison governor you want. No doubt the matter is equally worried.
But aren't you gonna go by yourself?
Surely you needn't ask. I can't possibly be seen out with this hair.
But didn't you go to Lime Street with that hair?
That was quite a different matter. So I leave it in your capable hands. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm rather busy.
And there he goes. Of course you are. Where do we go now? Oh, right. The office. I guess we'll see what this is about. Hopefully some sort of connection to the case, right? Barclay Prison is on the outskirts of London, backing onto a lonely burial ground. Its 4 high outer walls loomed quietly before us in the fog. Having requested a meeting, we were shown to the governor's office in the watchtower. Oh, I wonder what the governor's like. That clock is just a guillotine. Oh boy. Oh, he a big guy.
This place is full of hardened criminals. Can I remember the last time a civilian was down here?
Oh wait, he has a mustache. Maybe I can do it more of like a
Like a flexing guy.
kind of thing, you know?
And you didn't want to talk to an inmate, but to me. You ken who I am? I'm the governor, Barry Kaiden.
Kaiden? Oh, yes. It's a pleasure. I'm Renosuke Naruhodo, defense lawyer.
But an Easterner, I see. Does that mean...
Yes, I'm a visiting student of law from the Empire of Japan.
Japan? Did you say Japan?
Yes?
Well, there's no any of your kind in here, laddie.
Perhaps. Oh, wait. Laddie? Laddie? Really? Oh.
Well, there's no any of your kind here, laddie. Maybe you should try the prison next door, eh?
Maybe a little bit deeper from that. But with that accent. Maybe. Maybe. I think that's what we're going for.
I didn't notice another prison next door, sir.
Anyway, we came to ask you some questions about...
I didn't like to be direct, but... I have no intention of speaking with the likes of you suspicious-looking Easterners.
Wait, what accent am I even going for at the moment?
Now, get into my hair. Get out of my hair.
As soon as he finds out that we're from Japan, he reacts like this. That surely means...
I think it's because of the professor case.
You think so too? Yay, racism. 10 years ago, Genshin Asogi, also known as the Professor, was incarcerated at this prison. And then, after his execution, he apparently re-emerged from his grave in the cemetery behind the prison.
I might have known. You're sniffling around the case, aren't you? Your agents, eh? Part of the Professor's great web, no doubt.
No, not at all. We're just...
Get gone with ya before I punch your lights out.
Oot. We're going! Clearly the ghost of that killer still haunts this place. We're not gonna get anywhere here. Unless we can somehow prove to this man that there's nothing suspicious about us. Governor Kaiden. Kaiden? Kaiden. I'm just gonna say Kaiden. What are you thinking, Mrs. Sato? I feel sure that name came up in conversation recently somewhere. I was wondering if whoever mentioned him might have some ideas to help us. Come to think of it, I have the same feeling. Man, I don't know how to really do his voice. It's gonna be... I'm gonna find something, you know? I'm gonna find something. Okay, it's only Professor Mikotoba, so we can talk to him. That's Professor Mikotoba over there.
Ah, hello you two. I was just taking a moment to catch up on the world now that I'm unpacked.
But where's Judge Dagoku?
Yes, he's not the relaxing sort. He's taking himself off to pay his respects to all the legal bigwigs.
Having only just arrived in the country today? Goodness, he is full of energy.
Professor, you mentioned something before about how you'd known the prison governor at Barclay Prison?
Oh, Governor Kaiden, you mean?
So it is the same man.
Father, we must speak with the governor. But he refused to talk to us. He said we were suspicious Easterners.
Well, I'm sure if I accompanied you, it would be a very different story.
Oh, would you? That would be wonderful. If you have time now.
Sadly, as you can see, I'm very busy at the moment.
Busy drinking coffee on a comfortable settee?
Now. I have rather a lot to prepare for tomorrow, you know.
Oh, sorry. I didn't say that out loud, did I? You Mikotobos are alarmingly good at reading people's thoughts.
Or could it be that you Naruhodos are alarmingly bad at hiding your thoughts?
She got you there.
Let's not fall out now. I have an idea.
Oh, he's gonna give us a paper? What's he writing on that piece of paper?
Here's a letter of introduction for you. Hopefully when he sees my name, he'll change his tune.
Thank you!
Yay!
Good luck then.
Okay, that was a quick trip. Nice. Let's go back to the governor's office then. Maybe I can go for the strong...
The strong man does. It's very...
I'm having a really hard time keeping it low though. If you just cast your eyes over this, Governor Kaiden.
What's this then? You cannot put yours full over my eyes, you good-for-nothing Japanese student? Mikotoba? That young jock from the forensics laboratory? That Mikotoba?
Yes, exactly! Him!
Oh dear, perhaps I should have said something sooner. I'm Yujin Mikotoba's daughter, Susato.
Jings! You're the young man's daughter? And you did not think to mention that before?
I do apologize.
Hey, well, you'd best take a seat then. Can I offer you a cup of tea, perhaps? And didn't forget to try one of these wee handcuff biscuits.
Your father's influence is nothing short of amazing.
I'm bitterly regretting not announcing who I was from the outset now.
So then, What can I do for you, then?
Well, we're currently investigating a case.
It's one of your warders, you see. He's gone missing.
Missing?
That's right. It's surely been reported to you as well, being the prison governor.
I haven't heard a thing of the sort. Nothing of the sort. There's no missing persons in my prison.
Oh,
But how can that be?
it's Mr. Daily Vigil, your chief warder.
Vigil?
That's right. His wife came to us and asked us to investigate his disappearance. Let's skip the part about him only going missing yesterday for now. Clearly that means something to him.
Would you be so kind as to tell us what you know, sir?
Aye, of course.
Huh. We understand that Mr. Vigil is the chief warder here at the prison.
Aye, that he was. Strong sense of responsibility and dedicated to the job. No doubt about it. He was a fine warder.
Sorry, did you say... was?
Aye. He doesn't work here no more. He left the job.
Oh my.
When was this exactly?
There's a question. When was it about? It cannot have been much less than 10 years ago now.
What? 10 years ago? He stopped working here 10 years ago?
Aye, as I mind it. You ken, I haven't heard the fella's name in all that time. I saw if he's gone missing though.
But Miss Vigil made no mention of it.
I think perhaps, Mr. Naruhodo, that his wife simply doesn't know. I think she's unaware that he no longer works here. Governor Caden, can you tell us what happened?
Caden? I'm just... I'm not even picking one. I'm just going between several. What did Mr. Vigil give up his job? Why did Mr. Vigil give up his job here?
That's important, is it?
Yes, I believe it may be.
What are you thinking, Mr. Naruhodo?
I can't help wondering, given that it was 10 years ago, which was exactly when the professor was being held at the prison. How about we talk about Professor Mikotoba to tone things down a little bit?
My father came to Britain all those years ago in order to study forensics medicine. But you seem to have been well acquainted.
The dead room, the prison, and the cemetery have a lot to do with one another. After all, they need fresh corpses for forensic research. Do you not ken?
Yes, I can imagine.
The advancement of medical science isn't always particularly palatable.
Your father worked in the laboratory just on the far side of the graveyard. In the basement at St. Sinners. It's still in use today.
Saint Sinners. That's come up before, I'm sure.
Yes, that's right. We've been there.
Mikotobu and I have used to ride in a carriage together and negotiate terms.
For more fresh material, I suppose.
Aye, and we used to sit here for hours and gab on about the section and all sorts. Ooch, it takes me back. Ugh, it takes me back. Or a pot of tea and a plate of cough biscuits, of course.
What accident is he supposed to be?
How charming.
I'm just really bad at doing it low for whatever this is.
He was a good fellow, your father. Reliable. And dead set on his work. But I'm afraid... I'll never understand you Japanese.
Because of Genshin Asogi, I suppose. Alright, so we made the tough music go away. It's back, okay.
So Mr. Vigil actually resigned from the position of Chief Warder 10 years ago, you're telling us? What happened to make him leave the job?
In actual fact, he didn't leave the job willingly. He had no choice in the matter.
You mean he was dismissed?
It was, after all, a particular walk.
Sorry? A walk?
Hey! That's so hard for it here. A walk to the gallows.
And in execution.
It's the job of the chief warder to prepare the gallows tree and oversee executions, you see. Only, Vigil did something unthinkable on that last walk he was missing.
What did he do?
I'm sorry, but I cannot reveal the information. But I can tell you that it's very, very rare for a chief warder to be relieved of this post.
But why wouldn't Miss Vigil know about it? She appears to be under the impression that her husband still works here.
I would not ken anything about that, I'm afraid.
Can you perhaps answer one more question about the circumstances of his dismissal?
And what would that be, Anne?
That last execution that Mr. Vigil was responsible for overseeing... Was it by any chance the professor's?
My thoughts exactly.
I'm sorry, I really am. But I'm not at liberty to answer that.
I see.
Well, I cannot tell you anything else.
Thank you so much for your time, Governor.
Oh, one moment before you are away then. Away then. I'm sure I have it here somewhere. Ah, found it. Here, take this as a wee souvenir of your visit to the prison.
What is it?
That's Vigil's dismissal notice. He's 10 years old now, of course.
Oh my, are you sure?
Hey, it's no trouble at all. It's not the original mind.
Okay, I think I'm hitting it. I think I'm getting it. It's really hard for me to figure it out. Although I think this might be the last time we're talking to him. The harsh reprimand incurred by Mr. Vigil 10 years ago that resulted in him losing his job as chief warder.
Thank you very much, Governor Caden.
Might be Caden because it...
Well, in return, do me a favor and never come back here. The case is closed.
That bird's cage is too small.
Well, I think we ought to return to Baker Street for the time being.
Yes, I agree. We need to report back to Mr. Sholmes what we found about Mr. Vigil. What will he tell us, Mr... What would he tell Miss Vigil, I wonder? Reading's hard today. What is happening?
We're back.
Hello, you two.
Oh, hello, you two. I thought you'd be back before long, so I baked some scones for us all.
Ah, so that's what... Greetings, my dear fellows. You've returned a good deal sooner than I was anticipating. Hello, Mr. Sholmes.
Hello, Mr. Sholmes?
Say nothing. Your thoughts are written all over your faces in any case. It turns out that it may have been advisable to test my hair color restoration tonic before application. Yeah, I'd say so.
Oh my.
Pray tell me, what of our warder friend? Have you garnered some new information? Hmm?
Oh, yes. Something very surprising, in fact, though it's not a patch on your hair, to be honest. It most certainly isn't. It most certainly isn't, but still we discovered that.
Sholmes?
Oh, Sholmes! Drop everything, Sholmes! This is more important.
Gina? Wait. Wait. Gina is like really shook about whatever the heck happened. What the fuck? What could have shaken her this much? Oh, I didn't even read that. Sorry.
I can't, Adam and Eva. What's happened?
Clearly a very grave matter indeed. For Miss Lestrade made no mention of my hair whatsoever. Or Lestrade?
Gina Lestrade? Lestrade?
I still haven't really bothered looking that up, huh? Huh.
Yes.
It's the boss? Wait, what happened to Gregson? What do you mean? Inspector Gregson?
The boss is
He's dead? What? Gregson's dead? They actually killed him off? Really? What the fuck? What?
They just found his body shot with a pistol.
What?
But Inspector Gregson? He was murdered? No, not Gregsy.
Come in, my dear girl. Tell us the whole story. Holy shit. He's fucking dead.
Are you serious, Gina? Inspector Gregson was really shot? I don't know much about what happened myself yet. They're still there, investigating the scene.
Where did this take place?
A little rented room in a building full of flats on Fresno Street.
The outskirts of town. Nowhere near his home. He was perhaps investigating a case then.
The thing is, no one at the yard knows nothing about no case around there. Oh, how strange.
What the fuck happened?
The boss was... It was so good to me, and I ain't up to much yet, but one day I was gonna show him I'd become a proper detective. Oh, Ginny.
She's really fucked up from this. Oh. So who did this? Do you have any idea who the culprit is?
I got him already.
Already? They've caught the shooter so soon? I swear to God if it's Cosma.
A witness reporting something was going on, and the boys got straight down there and took him in. Who? What awful person did this?
It's Cosma. I'm just gonna call it now. It's fucking Cosma, isn't it?
I still can't believe it myself. Gina? It was the Reaper.
What? What the fuck? Wait a minute. You don't mean they've arrested Lord Van Zeeks for it?
That's right. The Reaper Bug's gone and shot the boss.
No. Lord Van Zeeks? There's no fucking way this that's what the fuck?
Are you quite sure, Mr. Lestrade? Whatever. It's Baron Von Zeeks, the police that have arrested.
I saw him with my own eyes in the interview room at the yard. I don't believe it. But there are witnesses, and they're all saying it was him.
So you mean there were actually multiple witnesses?
They heard the gunshot apparently, and when our lot got to the scene, there was only the boss and the Reaper's bloke in the room. Or that Reaper bloke in the room.
But there's no way Lord Van Zeeks would have taken Gregson's life. I just don't believe it.
I don't believe it either.
Thank you for informing us, Miss Lestrade. It's really is most terrible news. I'm dreadfully sorry.
What are you saying sorry for? You didn't do nothing.
I feel like he's like he knows something at this point. Like he really knows something.
Well, anyway, I'm taking a cab over to the scene right now. Please come now as soon as you can. You're gonna help.
It's a detective's lot to appear wherever some sinister plot is unfolded. Little wonder we all look haggard. Sometimes these things are almost too much for the nerves.
Mr. Sholmes.
Why you stare at being a great detective if I fail to see something like this coming, huh? How could I let this happen to Gregson? To Gregson! Mr. Naruhodo, I shall leave at once to begin my investigations.
Of course, yes, we will too.
It would be helpful
if you could talk to Mr. Reaper and see what you can glean. I'm sure you were intending to do so anyway. Until later, then. Inspector Gregson dead, and Lord Van Zeeks arrested.
Bruno, Susie, I've called you a hansom. I'm waiting. It's waiting outside.
Thanks, Iris. Shall we, Mr. Sato?
Yes.
I don't know what to say, but this has really fucked me up, actually. Holy shit. And there he is, just casually reading a paper in the prison cell. There he is. Lord Van Zeeks behind bars.
So it's true. He really was arrested.
He's sitting with his back to the wall, reading something. I don't think he's noticed us. Lord Van Zeeks.
Fancy meeting you here. The last place on Earth I'd like to be. Or the last person on Earth I'd like to see.
I couldn't very well not come. We heard what happened. That Inspector Gregson was...
Go home. This has nothing to do with you.
But
Forgive me, Lord Van Zieks, but I must disagree. Inspector Gregson was very helpful to us on a number of occasions. We're in debt to him. At the very least, we owe it to him to find out the truth about his death. You must help us with our investigations, please.
There's nothing really I can tell you.
what were you just reading in the back of the cell there? Was there something related to the case?
This? The Yard isn't quite so cavalier with its information as to share case details with a suspect. This is a letter from an old acquaintance.
Oh, who might that be?
Someone you know as it happens. Albert Hairbrain.
Of course, yes. I keep forgetting that they went to the same university.
And I would like to read my correspondence in peace. So let's get this over with, shall we? What is it you want to know?
Strange. I mean, let's face it, Lord Van Zieks never minces his words. But they seem to have less bite than usual somehow. Let's get that letter out of the way first. Fucking soften the blow a bit. After the trial, Professor Hairbrain was supposed to go straight back to Germany, I thought.
It's a letter to inform me of his safe arrival at home. I arranged his passage by sea and rail. It's a relief, I must say. You should now be beyond the reaches of the Reaper.
Because the Reaper doesn't follow people abroad, you mean?
Yes, so it seems. Your astute little Nipponese friend, for example. You told me he was keeping well in Japan when I inquired the other day.
Yes, that's right. He's an author now, happily working in Tokyo.
So Professor Hairbrain is safely back in Germany now.
He is.
Okay. Alright, now, what the fuck happened? Can you at least tell us your side of the story, Lord Van Zieks? What happened?
How much do you already know?
We know that the inspector was shot dead in a small rented room on Fresno Street.
And that you were found there by the police when they arrived on the scene and immediately arrested.
We were told that there was nobody else in the room and that some witnesses heard the gunshot.
Then you're well informed. And there's nothing really I can add. The truth is, I don't know what happened myself.
But the gunshot! Obviously you didn't find the gun, did you?
I'm not in the habit of shooting the people I work alongside. I also heard the noise, however. Before I had a chance to investigate, I was apprehended by the arriving officers.
So he doesn't actually know what happened.
If I might ask, what were you doing in that place to begin with?
I don't need to answer that.
Oh,
After all, you're not representing me.
He's going to need a lawyer, though. Let us represent you, you bitch. Who is going to be representing you in court, Lord Van Zieks?
Anyone other than you, I should imagine.
Sorry, I was answering something to a friend.
Would I be right in assuming that you have no representation as yet?
Defense lawyers shy away from any trial involving the Reaper, as I'm sure you know.
But this is different.
In my career, of all the defendants I've prosecuted, only 19 have ever been acquitted. Of them, 16 subsequently died in mysterious circumstances. Questions will be asked now.
Surely not.
I assure you, no defense lawyer will want to touch me with the end of a barge pole.
But you didn't actually have anything to do with those people's deaths, did you?
It's been 10 years now that I've been known as the Reaper of the Bailey. Believe me, nobody wants to know the true identity of this killer more than I. However, it seems things may come to a head before I have a chance to uncover the truth about that.
What does he mean by that?
So, it appears our conversation has run dry.
There was a 2-second silence, that's all. Well, maybe more, because I was checking something.
Well, in any event, if you'll excuse me now, I wouldn't like to detain you.
I was wondering, Lord Van Zieks, if you'd like, I'd be happy to advocate for you.
What? Ugh. You trust me, do you?
Yes. I've heard you speak many times in court. I've seen how you treat people. So I'm quite sure that you would never have taken another's life. It's just, my feelings can't be used as evidence in a court of law, sadly.
It's a very gracious offer. However, I trust no one.
What?
Not the police, not the judiciary, and not you Nipponese.
But, please!
I have no intention of engaging your services.
The chasm between us is just too wide and too deep, it seems.
I'd appreciate it if you don't visit again. Then neither of us will waste any more time.
Perhaps we need to dig a little deeper and find out more about Lord Van Zieks and what happened to Inspector Gregson. Man, this is a really long section. Oh, sorry, I'm answering something real quick. Oh boy, so this is the room. Wow, it's a dump. This really is an out-of-the-way part of London. I doubt many people will find their way down this back street. So this dust-ridden, rented old room is where it happened, then.
So this is where poor Inspector Gregson lost his life.
Yes. And the police are already hard at work investigating, it seems. I don't see Mr. Sholmes anywhere, though. Perhaps his investigations have taken him elsewhere.
Hey! What do you think you're doing there? Every one of them drawers is got to be taken right out so you can look underneath and all. I want the space above the ceiling checked, and don't forget to look inside the chimney stack too. Blimey, ain't you lot ever gone over an house looking for dough when the owners are out of town?
Gina's obviously got some unique investigative techniques she wants everyone to adopt.
Oh, so you've turned up at last? Mind you, I ain't been here long myself.
Hello again, Gina.
Sholmes is only just left. You're lucky you missed that. Hey, went prancing around in air, pointing at stuff and flicking at all this and that, and then just scarpered. Oh, he's finished investigating it already, you mean? Yeah, he didn't start to say nothing to no one, not even me.
Gina, would you mind if we investigated too?
Listen, Odo. You're a lawyer, right?
Yes? Why?
Well, you're not thinking of trying to help that Reaper bloke, are ya?
Oh! Poor Gina. She's never gonna forget, is she? That trial will haunt her forever.
Gina, if you don't mind me saying, if Lord Van Zieks really is responsible for this crime, he will be duly and fairly judged in court. I suppose you're right, yeah. Go on then, Oda. Get investigating. I want to know the truth about what really happened here.
Thank you, Gina. Okay, let's do something. Sorry. Doing some in-between messaging. Okay. Back to this. Gina, what was Inspector Gregson doing here in the first place?
That's what I wanna know. Is what? Half a year since I got out of the clink? That's when I decided to give up me diving and become a detective instead.
Oh yes, Mr. Sholmes twisted the inspector's arm to agree to take you on as an apprentice, didn't he?
Something like that, I think. Anyway, the point is I didn't really know much about the boss till then. But it turns out a bit of a legend at the yard. Goodness, really? They say he managed to solve some really tricky case, just like that.
He did?
Yep, and ever since then he has started going out on all sorts of investigations, but always on his own. No one else at the yard even knows what half the cases he's working on, apparently.
That's not how it's supposed to work, is it? So what was the legendary inspector doing in a dingy little room like this?
I know he's had a lot of respect for the Reaper now, and look where that landed him.
Respect for the Reaper? In what way?
I heard him say as much. I take my hat off to that fella, or his words.
Not how the general public feels, is it? Most people are terrified of the Reaper.
Yeah, the boss said that's exactly why he's respected the bloke.
I didn't realize Gregson held that Reaper in quite such a high regard.
He said something else to me and all. That I didn't need to worry about the Reaper, cause he only goes after people what are bad. It did kinda set my mind at ease when he said that.
Right. What is this place then? Does anyone live here?
Apparently it's been rented by some cove called Hugh Bone. Hugh Bone?
It's a sort of here today, gone tomorrow name, that, isn't it?
Yeah, he's what we call an unidentified person. I haven't been able to get in touch with him.
I see. Well, judging from appearances, I'd have to say this place hasn't been lived in for a long time, if ever.
Right. All the lads from the yard piled down to get stuck into the investigation. But there's so little here, no one knew what to do with themselves. I do wonder.
Yes, Mr. Sato?
Well, Could it be that this cute bone is in fact Inspector Gregson himself?
What? How could that be?
Well, if he was investigating on his own, it's quite possible that this was in fact some kind of secret office of his.
I'd never even considered that.
Nice work, Sus. You know, we're actually following a line of inquiry like that ourselves.
You are?
If you look around the room, you'll see there's a few things that hint at that.
We should really investigate this place in detail. I do see a red wig that we did see, that one that we were doing the sweep across the room with the camera. So I guess I'll look into that after.
I see. That's where the poor inspector was found, over there.
Okay, so we got a gun, a hair, and a toy?
Yeah, that's right. They said it was a single bullet what did him in. Apparently the bullet went right through him and struck that candle tree on the wall.
Oh yes, it's blown one of the candles apart completely. Oddly enough, that's the only tall candle too.
And the gun used is down on the floor. It's the Reapers in there, no denying that.
What? Really?
How do you know that? Take it easy. I don't know what to do with myself when you stare at me with them big wide eyes. I'm only saying what I've heard. I don't know much about guns myself. But there's some bigwig lawman or whatever who says so. Why don't you ask him?
A bigwig lawman, is it?
Anyway, Fresno Street runs along under that window there. There were some street sellers just outside who heard the gunshot. Oh, but I don't recall seeing anybody outside. Yeah, they've all been taken down to the yard for questioning, that's why.
We're probably going to see them in court.
We're talking about the yard's legendary inspector, after all. They'll be getting a grilling.
Do you think we might be able to speak with those street sellers ourselves?
I doubt it. The lads at the yard will just want to know what you're snooping for, and you'll be up for a grilling and all.
So we can't interview the witnesses then. Shame. Okay, so that's everything for now. Let's go investigate. Okay, so this picture is interesting so far.
Oh, it's a photograph stand. I suppose it must be a picture of someone Inspector Gregson, one of Inspector Gregson's family members?
It did look like a Japanese woman, so I was wondering if it's Susato's mom or something. What's the matter? Your eyes look like they're about to pop out of your head.
They are! Look! Mr. Naruhodo! Quickly!
Oh no, it's her? Huh? Why do I feel like this woman is familiar somehow?
Of course she's familiar! We met her only this morning!
It's Miss Vigil!
This makes no sense. Why would there be a picture of Miss Vigil in here?
To be frank, I don't think I've ever been more stumped.
I'm sorry to say, I have no idea either.
In her younger years. Wait, so this isn't Gregson's home. This has gotta be his temporary home? What was his name? Bone? Something. And then his vigil. Oh yeah, Dali. Chief Warder Dali Vigil is relieved of his post for immediate effect for having violated Clause 132 of Her Majesty's Code of Conduct for Prisons. All rights to redundancy pay and other financial benefits are fully revoked. Why am I reading it like that? Aiding and abetting the escape from this prison of convicts. Prior to his execution? Details of this escape are still being investigated. Full cooperation with inquiries will be expected. Did he help the Reaper escape? I mean, we know that he didn't actually die. Prior to his execution... Yeah! We know he didn't actually die, and someone fudged... And then the doctor fudged the autopsy report for it, probably. What the fuck? Indications are that the jailbreak plot was conceived prior to the convict's incarceration. It's believed that the convict engaged in some sort of negotiation with prison staff in order to secure assistance. Full disclosure of information regarding these negotiations will be demanded. Huh. Also, yeah, this is her. And there's not much else we can... Wait a minute. What did he write this on, actually? Oh, is this his ticket when he came?
Oh, it looks like this is some sort of steamship ticket. The SS Groose, first class cabin, number 1. Yokohama departure, 11th of September, London arrival, 1st of September. Oh, November. Ah, that's the boat that Professor Mikotoba and Judge Jigoku came from on Japan, right? Came on from Japan, right? Yes, I think it's called at Dunkirk on the... Oh, I think it's called... It called at Dunkirk at... I think it called at Dunkirk on the north coast of France for a night before finally arriving in Dover. To think it's been almost a year since we arrived in Dover in the SS Bruria. And it seems a shame not to keep your ticket as a memento of your trip, don't you think? Yes, I agree. I have mine safely in my diary. And I keep mine in my wallet, so I have it with me at all times. Oh, well, how strange. Where could it have gone? Are you like this on purpose, Mr. Naruhodo? Did I imagine it, or was that comment accompanied by a little sigh?
Oh, we actually... Oh, it updates the information that it's a ticket. Okay, good thing I looked at it now. Professor Mikotoba has wonderful handwriting, doesn't he? This dark-suited young man is not in the least bit untrustworthy. Is it just me, or does that make me sound extremely untrustworthy? I do wish he'd at least call you a nice young man. I'm not really sure that would have helped. Okay. Okay, we have these inspected at least. So good to note for future. That boat. Ticket. The top of one of the candles is this candle holder has been the top of one of the candles in this candle holder has been completely blown off.
Yes, there's wax splattered on the wall behind it, look.
I suppose if a bullet had hit it...
It does seem likely that the bullet hit the candle, having first passed through the inspector's body.
Ugh. Now that wax on the wall looks like blood to me. Candelabrum. A candelabrum on the wall in the room in Fresno Street when the inspector was found dead. The top one of the candles appears to have been blown up. Okay. Let's see if there's anything more to glean from this, exactly. I don't see anything in particular that's very interesting, other than it's very... Yeah, it's very blown off. It is very gray, though. I mean, black. But what is that about? There are some black marks here. Look!
Yes, they look like some sort of scorch marks.
So perhaps the bullet struck the candle here, do you think? It's only this one candle that's been cracked in half, it seems.
Yes, I think you might be right. Firearms are rarely used by criminals in Japan, so I'm afraid I'm not particularly knowledgeable about them.
Okay. Good to note for later, I guess. So this wig. Ever since we came in here, I can't take my eyes off this thing.
Oh, funnily enough, neither can I.
It's a hairpiece, isn't it?
It is. It is a bright red hairpiece.
And I suppose the fact that it's right there next to where my body was found means we have to accept that Inspector Gregson wore wigs, does it?
And it's such a flame-covered red, too.
Yes, that's a color we've come across very recently elsewhere, isn't it?
Exactly. This is a vital clue, I'm sure of it.
Huh. Do we have any record of those two weirdos from earlier? Is Daily Vigil the redhead from earlier? He could be. What if he dyed his hair red? And this is where he like kind of hung out? Or he had a wig at least. And he kind of hung out in this room because after he got fired for this whole... Because there's gotta be some sort of conspiracy with him doing this and like helping him escape. And then he got fired for it. And he's probably just like, what the fuck, dude? And then he probably has the red wig. And then he hid out in here or something. And this red wig could be either Gregson's, or it could actually be... No, it probably is Gregson's. But it could also belong to somebody else, you know? And left with Gregson. But definitely the Redhead Society thing has something to do with Gregson and this whoever lived here, which I'm pretty sure this is Daly's house. Daly? Whatever. So I suppose this is where the victim...
That's right. The rope is laid around the body to show exactly how it was found.
Poor Inspector Gregson himself has already been taken away. It would probably be under Dr. Sight's scalpel by now, if not for what happened last week.
From the shape of the rope, it would appear that the inspector was curled up in a ball. Are you feeling alright, Mr. Naruhodo? You look like you've just seen a ghost.
I know, it's just a rope, but... Well, it conjures up quite a terrifying image, that's all. Especially with that bloodstain right next to it.
Oh, I do understand. In some ways, what we picture in our minds can be worse than reality.
Susato-san is so strong, though. She's taking this far better than I am. Okay, there's the gun. This is presumably the murder weapon, then.
Oh my, it is real, I suppose.
I think so. Guns are so rare in Japan, I really know very little about them.
There's one way to know for sure, Mr. Naruhodo. Fire a shot.
No. If I did that, I'd be looking for a skilled lawyer to represent me in court. Slightly safer just to ask someone who might know, I think. Okay, so we're gonna ask probably Gina. Okay. And... Doll. Oh, what's this?
It would appear to be a little model policeman. It's rather charming, isn't it?
Seeing as it's on the floor here, do you think it belonged to Inspector Gregson?
It's a little hard to imagine Lord Van Seeks playing with something like this.
It's only about 8 centimeters tall. It could have fallen out of somebody's pocket, I suppose. I think we should record it as evidence, just in case.
Yes, I agree. It is rather delightful, after all, in a way.
Alright, now that we looked at we grabbed those, let's, actually look at them. I've always wondered what the underside of a hairpiece looks like.
That doesn't surprise me at all, Mr. Naruhodo. Naruhodo, you always want to see what lies beneath, don't you?
I'm not sure that's quite how I put it. You must have to use lots of bird line to keep it in place on your head. So it doesn't get blown off in a gust of wind, I mean.
That might be a little inconvenient when you wanted to take it off again, don't you think?
I don't see anything peculiar about it on the inside, at least. Yeah, nothing too crazy. Okay. I suppose this must have been the murder weapon.
Oh my. It is real, I suppose.
I think so. Oh, wait. This is just the same dialogue from earlier. Okay. Okay, so, I don't think we really need to investigate that until... Well, unless there's something peculiar about it. Yeah, nothing peculiar. I think when we talk to Gina about it, she'll explain, like, how to open the barrel or something. Hi, Kiro! Hello! I'm looking at a doll. I see you made it here. Yep, definitely lost my mind at the fact that Gregson's dead. I did not expect that at all. I was just like, oh my god, he's dead. Are you serious? I'll have to watch back for you, really. Oh yeah, I think I paused for like a few seconds. Like, I was just like, really? He's dead? Mr. Fish and Chips. We'll never forget you. Also, a lot of more conspiracy theories, so I might talk about those again later.
The helmet of this charming policeman appears to be a little worse for wear.
I'm not convinced about the charming part, but yes, you're right. The head part looks like it's been fairly heavily manhandled. Almost as if somebody who has enjoyed twisting it around and around for fun. Huh. Shall we try twisting it around and round too, for fun? Oh! Okay. What's that?
It appears to be some sort of key.
But it's tiny though. It couldn't be a key to a door, not at that size. So what is this for, I wonder? A model of a British policeman found at the scene of the crime in Fresno, giving a twist caused a key-like shaft to pop out. Alrighty then. Surprise, and surprise indeed. This looks like some sort of key?
Yes, it does. A very tiny and simple key.
What's a little key doing inside a figurine of a policeman in the first place? And what's it for? Have I seen anything of a key-like sort? Well, there's a giant conspiracy board.
This looks like some sort of notice board or something.
And it's absolutely covered in scraps of paper.
Mr. Naruhodo, look!
This... you mean it's an autopsy report, isn't it?
And these are case notes here. And details of prison inmates.
Yes, in fact, they're also the sort of documents that only a detective could normally acquire. What on earth went on in this room?
Some old newspaper cuttings. And this one here.
Oh yes, the advertisement, you mean. To the Red-Headed League. But why? What's that doing here?
Whoever occupied this room was clearly interested in it for some reason.
You were interested in the ad too, sir. Weren't you? I don't know why Greg's in here, though. That one is... why did he come here? But I'm pretty sure he wore this wig to do something with the red-headed thing. And I'm pretty sure at this point that Vigil is one of the red-headed members that we saw earlier. Or something. It's been a while since I've seen the guy's face. So, like, I'm not entirely sure, but I am very, very heavily thinking it's that. An empty fireplace makes a room feel even colder than it would be otherwise, doesn't it?
Stick with dust. Look. I think it would be fair to say it hasn't been used in a very long time.
In other words, whoever lived in this room must have been extremely hardy in cold weather.
Or nobody lived here at all and merely visited when the occasion arose. I wouldn't like to say which is more likely.
No, that's right. It's one or the other. I'm just gonna leave the Billies be and yeah, let's leave them be and just kinda
Hey Gina, can you look at this gun real quick? Gina, what do you make of this? Oh. Oh, no, I guess not. Maybe I do have to talk to people in the yard. Hey sir, since you're looking at the gun, can you explain to me gun? Excuse me?
Sorry, sir, can't say a thing, sir. Too many tears, sir.
Right, perhaps I'd better leave you to your work then. Oh, he's crying. I get it. Oh, no. Excuse me.
If you're looking down on us from the great beyond, Inspector, don't worry. We'll look after things at the yard.
I've interrupted some deep thoughts here. Oh man. They're all depressed. No. Excuse me.
Oh, Inspector. Oh, sir.
Poor man, he can't possibly be able to focus on investigating when he's so upset. They're all depressed! I can't believe... Somebody's very haphazardly nailed those boards over there, the broken glass, haven't they? You couldn't even really call it a window anymore. What the fu- Oh, hello. Thank you for the raid, Nari. Holy shit. Nari, hello. And everybody, and Lily, and Amai, and Guri, and Remy, and Melly, and... Oh my god, you're all here. Hello. I love Nari, and we love our friends with sharp objects. Oh my. And Lay, hello. Thank you for the resub, Lily. Hi everybody, I hope y'all had a good time doing duck duck goose. I mean goose goose duck goose duck goose 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 duck goose goose duck. Hello. Hi, I'm playing The Great Ace Attorney 2, and I am doing a lot of voice acting. Deuce guck guck, exactly, Memi, exactly. Well, yeah, welcome Raiders, I am playing The Great Ace Attorney 2. I just started episode 4 and it's gotten to some... Dang. Yeah, spoilers for Great Ace Attorney 2 for anyone coming in. I'm on the 4th episode of this game. I am also doing voice acting for all the characters, so caution if you don't like hearing that. Hello, Dragar, I hope your stream is pogging. My brain is melting and I need food, so I must go, but have a good rest of the stream night. Thank you for coming, Darian. I appreciate the raid. I'll join Goose Goose Duck Deuce Deuce Duck Deuce Buck Gut Ducks Goose Goots next time, okay? I came home like only an hour before I had to start mine. Love you, Dwago. Oh, thank you, Memi. I love you too. I also get food, but happy gaming. Okay. Have good food. You really couldn't call it a window anymore.
Well, if you remember the window in Mr. Natsume's room, that was totally blocked up with bricks. This one does at least...
You could say nothing more about it. I'm starting to feel even more sorry for Mr. Natsume now. Oh, hi Popo too. Well, we love our friends with sharp objects, right? Yeah. Welcome, welcome. Is that like everything in this room? I think it might actually be. Alright, it's time to do the tried and true method of playing Ace Attorney games. Presenting everything to the person until they talk. Gina, what do you make of this? Oh, no. What is that? Blah, 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 blah. Okay. Gina, can you explain this wig? No. Gina, can you explain this candelabra? I guess not. Hey Gina, can you explain this framed photograph? Okay, I guess not.
Do you just have new dialogue options because I need to ask about a gun? No? Okay. Am I missing something in this room? Hey Gina, I know you're sad, but there was a tiny inventory. Essentially. That's me right now. I remember last time I got stuck because I literally missed a single pixel with the cursor, and I was super upset. So hopefully I didn't miss anything specifically, but everybody in this room is Depresso Espresso because Gregson's dead. Nice Ace Attorney problems, truly though. Okay, look. If I do move, it might tell me a hint if I am. Okay, there's a such stick with this. Oh, maybe I could talk about guns with a small child. No? Oh, wait, but it's telling us dialogue that we can come back here. So I guess we could talk to Strongheart again. Oh, it's time to do my Strongheart voice.
You've made good time.
I took an express. Wait, who the hell is this? To London. I can hear Lord Strongheart. I can hear Lord Strongheart. Can you?
Yes, it sounds as though he's talking to someone.
Cosma?
Is everything in place?
I had a private compartment on the train so I could check on all the paperwork. It's...
Cosmo-sama!
Ah, your timing is impeccable.
It is?
No doubt you've heard the sickening news about the Reaper's latest devilry.
Yes.
I'm sure you don't believe it, of course, though, Lord Strongheart. That Lord Van Zieks could have done such a thing to Inspector Gregson.
I believe only in the facts. And the facts in this case point to one thing. The unavoidable accusal of Lord Van Zieks for this crime. We must bring charges against the Reaper for taking the life of our legendary detective.
Oh no, surely not.
It's a truly regrettable situation. Tomorrow, the Forensic Science Symposium finally begins. At the very least, though, we can show the world our justice system's swift and equitable processes.
So does that mean the trial is tomorrow?
Precisely. In fact, this is a fine opportunity for introductions.
Cosma.
Ah, but of course, you're already acquainted, aren't you? Mr. Asogi here will be present at tomorrow's proceedings, leading the prosecution.
Wait. What? Cosma?
As I'm sure you're aware, he's a very capable practitioner of law.
Cosmo-sama? A prosecutor?
Huh. Okay.
I'm sure you can imagine that tomorrow's trial will be closely followed all over London. In fact, no, people all over the Empire will be watching closely to see how it unfolds.
There's no salvation for anyone in a trial prosecuted by the Reaper of the Bailey. And now, the Reaper himself must stand in the dock.
Quite so. The public want answers about the Reaper. Answers about how and why those who escaped conviction subsequently died mysterious deaths.
But Lord Van Seeks firmly denies any involvement in such matters.
And there have been thorough investigations that have proven him to be innocent.
That's certainly true. Or has it been, at least until now? No, tomorrow's trial will mark the start of a new chapter in our country's great judicial history.
Man, you really are just the final villain in this game, aren't you? Like, at this point. Like, can we even deny it at this point that he's pretty much the final villain? So, Cosmo will be prosecuting tomorrow?
That's right.
But he's a defense lawyer, Lord Strongheart.
Accomplished young law practitioners cannot pick and choose their roles. And imagine what it would mean for the prosecution to know the strategies commonly employed by the defense. A devastating combination, wouldn't you agree?
Absolutely. I've no doubt at all that Cosmo will be razor sharp as a prosecutor.
But why Cosmo-sama? There are surely many other highly skilled prosecutors in Great Britain.
It was a personal request. I asked to be assigned to the trial. You asked for this? But why? It'll all become clear tomorrow. I'm guessing you intend to stand for the defense, don't you? Although, the Reaper appears to be turning down all offers of representation.
I'm surprised such a personal request would have been upheld. It seems unprecedented. Quite exceptional, in fact.
You are quite right, Miss Mikotoba. Tomorrow's trial will be unprecedented and exceptional in every way. After all, the accused is one of Britain's greatest prosecutors, the pride of the Empire. It would be unwise to give the public a reason to perceive it as the judiciary closing ranks.
So that's why you're happy to let a foreigner handle the prosecution? Ryunosuke, let's see how your skills have been honed. After practicing law in this land for so many months! Kazuma, I don't understand why you're being so hostile to me now. This isn't going to end well, my friend. Oh yes, we noticed that there was a gun at the scene of Inspector Gregson's death. Do you know if it belongs to Lord Van Zeeks?
That would be a question for the lead detective investigating the scene.
Well, the thing is, she wasn't sure, so she told me I could ask somebody higher up who might know.
That's right, Mr. Naruhodo. Be direct!
Oh right, she did tell me that. To talk to somebody higher. And I guess he is the highest in the land, kind of.
It's certainly a motto that's issued to all personnel involved in law enforcement, yes. Which includes prosecutors, as I'm sure you can imagine.
In that case, it could actually have belonged to the victim.
No, Gregson had his gun on his person.
What about Lord Van Zeeks?
He claims it's currently not in his possession.
What?
According to his story, he lost it. In short, it's more than a little suspicious.
But just because the gun in question is the same type as the defendant's is no proof that it's actually his.
No, of course not.
Nevertheless, the situation is grave for Lord Van Zeeks. Can you tell us about this dismissal notice? Could I show you this, Lord Strongheart?
I'm the Lord Chief Justice. I'm not here to offer advice about evidence.
Oh,
Especially when the evidence in question is so dull.
ah, so that's the real reason. Oh, nope. Yep, it's the same dialogue. Let him go. Okay. Can I talk to Cosmo now? Oh, I guess so. I'm sorry for all the worry I've caused you, but it'll be alright now. Has your memory completely returned? Yes, completely. I remember everything. Including what I was coming here to do. Right.
Kazuma-sama, I can't tell you how happy I am to see you alive and well like this. But how did you come to be here in London when you were suffering from amnesia?
It was the voice. This past year, I've been hearing it in my head constantly. Saying the same thing over and over. Lamau, how the fuck, she says. Pretty much! I kept. Go to London. That's where your destiny awaits. Link. Link. Wake up, Link. It was that voice that guided me here to London.
I'm so sorry for what's happened.
Anyway, my memory might have returned to me. But there's something that won't return to the way it was before. Huh? What do you mean? I'm a prosecutor now. So I'm sure our paths will cross again very soon. It doesn't look like we're going to glean much more here. Well, thank you very much, Lord Strongheart. Our paths crossing? In this area? Woo. Sorry.
Remember, tomorrow's trial will go down in our Empire's history. There's much you could learn from the public gallery.
Oh, there he goes. Sorry to have taken up so much of your time. We'll see ourselves out.
Hold it!
Up. Before you go, Renosuke. Oh, what is it, Kazuma? I just wanted to thank you.
Kazuma-sama? What?
You took my determination to heart and brought it with you over the ocean in my stead. And you carried out my role to perfection.
You always were intent on studying British law in order to change our own justice system. It was your dream, and Mr. Naruhodo didn't want that to die with you.
Yes, but I had another purpose for coming here.
Oh?
I actually have a favor to ask. Which is... this trial will be prosecuting tomorrow. I'd like you to be there to see how it ends. Right in front of me, as the defense counsel. What's this all about? I know you have what it takes. But Lord Van Zieks would never put his fate in my hands. On the contrary, he recognizes your talent. He does? It's not easy to see behind the facade sometimes. Here, have a look at this.
That's Lord Van Zieks and Inspector Gregson.
In a photograph that must have been taken some time ago by the look of it. And who's the third person? Is that his brother? It was displayed very prominently in the detective's office. In Gregson's office, you mean? Yes. What I'm trying to say is, if you really think you can trust the Reaper, you might find that some straight-talking makes him take a different view. Take it. Gregson's photograph has been entered to the court record. I don't understand. Why are you giving me this? Just hurry, Rinosuke. Visiting hours at the prison are almost over. What are you doing, Cosma? Oh. Oh no, we're done with our talking. Okay. Back to the prison. Lord Van Zeeks is still reading that letter.
We've been gone quite some time, though.
Either he's an incredibly slow reader, or it's an incredibly long letter. I might even be able to read English faster than he can. Bitch, he's right there. He's even like, I heard that. yeah, there he is.
I was intending to ignore you entirely. But I can't turn a deaf ear to such an insulting Nipponese.
Oh, sorry. I didn't think you'd hear that. True, Kip. True.
I had the case notes brought to me in secret. I was reading them to pass the time.
Yes, we heard that your trial is set for tomorrow.
Which is none of your business.
So, have you found a lawyer?
How many times must I reiterate the same thing? This has nothing to do with you.
In other words, no.
We were just talking to Lord Strongheart, and the prosecutor in your trial has been decided.
I'd expect nothing less. Though, I have no idea who it is.
It's going to be Cosma Asogi.
Asogi.
That made the color drain from his face.
Well then. It seems I'm going to have to engage in conversation with you again after all. "10 years ago, my older brother, who was the director of prosecutions at the time, was murdered. And the killer, as you know, was a visiting student from the far east. Not a single day goes by when I don't curse the name of Asogi.
Genshin Asogi was Cosmo-sama's father.
So what cruel fate is this now, 10 years later? The man's son is to crucify me in some kangaroo court.
I still don't understand why Lord Strongheart apprenticed Cosmo to you.
It's what he does. No doubt he knew of the young man's true identity from the outset.
But what could he have been hoping to achieve?
And let's not forget, it was only 8 days ago that Cosmo recovered from his amnesia. Why would Lord Strongheart assign this trial to somebody like that?
Asogi. That name is the very epitome of my bane. The bane that is you Nipponese.
Right. Your hatred of all of us Japanese. Forte! Hello, hello.
I'd only been just appointed as a prosecutor when it had happened 20 years ago. My brother Clint, the director of prosecutions, was hunting down a mass murderer.
The so-called professor.
Assigned to the investigation was his partner. Was a certain visiting student dispatched from Scotland Yard.
And that was Genshin Asogi?
Exactly. I developed a deep respect for the man. He seemed noble-minded and chivalrous in the extreme to me. But none of us saw the true nature of the man. So I lost everything when it happened. My esteemed brother, the people I believed in, and any semblance of right prevailing over wrong.
Oh, how awful.
To avenge my brother, I prosecuted in Asogi's trial. It wouldn't ordinarily have been allowed, but I beleaguered the ascribed prosecutor until he consented.
What do you mean by the ascribed prosecutor?
The man in charge of the Professor case inquiry, Lord Male Strongheart.
Wait, what? Lord Strongheart?
He was a highly accomplished prosecutor, but he agreed to relinquish the trial to me and act as my advisor instead. Since that time, he is the one person to whom I felt in debt.
I'm sure he must have seen your zeal for the case and recognized your potential as a prosecutor.
Anyway, time passed, but then earlier this year, who should arrive in London but you? And, of all things, as a lawyer.
I felt your animosity the first time I ever faced you in the courtroom. Your obvious deep loathing of us Japanese.
I kept telling myself it was illogical. But for so many years, that hatred had festered inside me, I could no longer control it.
And I can understand why, now I know the history.
But in the same way that I've long felt the Nibbanese to be the bane of my life, to Kazuma Asogi, I am the bane of his, the Reaper who sent his father to the gallows. He's looking for revenge, and he intends to take it in court tomorrow.
Heavy.
Gregson's transfer to the Paris Police Prefecture had finally been arranged for the coming month, but he'll never make it to France now. It's a tragedy.
Oh yes, come to think of it, he did mention something about that, didn't he?
I wonder, does it happen often? Being transferred internationally, I mean?
It's the first time I've ever encountered it.
Oh!
The Paris police welcoming an English detective is almost inconceivable. I can't imagine what kind of magic Gregson must have worked to put that arrangement in place.
It sounds like that mystery has even the Reaper perplexed.
I'm afraid to say that we were very ignorant about Inspector Gregson's standing. We hear that he was considered something of a legend at Scotland Yard.
Again, it was 10 years ago that he first made a name for himself, by uncovering a decisive piece of evidence that exposed the professor's identity. If it wasn't for Gregson's singular approach to the case, the discovery would never have been made.
Cops, rivalry cops. Yeah, absolutely not, you know? What sort of approach?
After my brother's life was taken, the inspector pushed for a full autopsy.
Oh my, 10 years ago?
Why is that so surprising?
Autopsy was considered a desecration of the body at the time and rarely performed. And my brother was of course a noble. That made the idea of it even more unthinkable. But something Gregson had dug up in his investigations made him determined it was necessary. His powerful conviction somehow influenced the House of Lords, and as a result, I could avenge my brother's death.
Fish and chips, clearly. Oh yeah, definitely. He has like an infinite supply. Like, you ever run out, you just never do. So, you must have had great confidence in the inspector's abilities then.
And it's even more inconceivable that you would have taken his life.
I don't have confidence in anyone.
Oh.
And I'm sure Gregson felt the same way. I've no doubt he thought of me only as the ominous Reaper, just like the rest of London.
What really went on between Lord Van Zieks and Gregson, I wonder? What was the true nature of their relationship? Also, your gun, apparently. About the gun used to shoot the inspector that was found at the scene.
Ah, yes. That's not mine.
Really? Because common opinion seems to be that it is.
What do you expect me to say that?
Lord Strongheart informs us that you claim to have misplaced your firearm.
As embarrassing as it is, I'm afraid that's true.
When did you lose it then?
That I don't know.
Oh,
I was issued with a revolver when I first became a prosecutor 10 years ago. I must have stowed it somewhere, I suppose. Or left it somewhere, perhaps.
you have something in common with Lord Van Zieks after all, Mr. Naruhodo. A talent for misplacing things.
No, this has nothing to do with me. Don't drag me into it.
Don't make the mistake of associating with me with this Nipponese.
Oh dear. The rift is very wide, isn't it?
So it's not decisive evidence, clearly. But it doesn't look good, that's for sure. You know anything about this?
What's that?
It's just something I was hoping to ask your opinion about, that's all. Apparently I'm not gonna get an answer. I'm just gonna get through this one-time dialogue once. Okay. Let's ask about the photograph. Lord Van Zieks, we came by this old photograph.
Where did you get that? It was taken when I became a qualified prosecutor. It's almost unbelievable. I assumed it was long lost.
Is the man on the left there?
Yes, that's my brother, Clint.
Oh. It had to be, really. Oh, it had to be, really. Apparently this picture was prominently displayed in Gregson's office. He had a deep respect for you, you know? Were you aware of that?
Respect? That's nonsense.
No, we've heard someone attest to it very clearly. Inspector Gina Lestrade, no less. Lestrade? Oh, fuck it, I'll look it up later.
Well, maybe once, yes. There was a time things were like that. We were brothers in arms, jovially discussing the future of justice and other such lofty subject matter. That was a nice glimpse of the past. I thank you.
I feel as though I got a nice glimpse of the past then, too. There was a glimmer of light in his eyes. A brief twinkle. An insight into the true nature of this man known to all as the stone-cold Reaper of the Bailey. Oh, I guess... Is this where we convince him?
Mr. Naruhodo.
Oh! That's the first he's ever used my actual name.
I lost all confidence in my country's justice system. I don't trust the police, the judiciary, or lawyers. But there's still one thing I'm willing to believe in.
What's that?
That what you see in the eyes of another across the courtroom. A simple determination to know the truth.
Lord Van Zieks?
From the very first time we clashed in the Bailey, almost a year ago now, I couldn't deny it, even though I dearly wished I could. Here is the loathsome Nipponese, who has absolute integrity as a lawyer. There are only two other men I've known with that same look in their eyes. My brother, Clint, and Genshin Asogi.
The man he idolized and the man who betrayed his trust. In the most hideous way.
When you showed me that photograph just now, it reminded me.
You mean, this photograph?
Back then, I was able to laugh. I was free of the shackles of mistrust that plague me now. I look to the future with hope. Since then, I've protected myself against betrayal by refusing to trust anyone. But at times, the mire into which I've sunk makes it almost impossible to breathe.
I'm so sorry.
So, Mr. Naruhodo, I want to believe in that look in your eyes. I need to believe in it. In tomorrow's trial, will you advocate for me?
Of course I will. It would be an honor.
I'm so pleased, Mr. Naruhodo.
Then my life is in your hands.
For Lord Van Zeeks, that must have been an incredibly hard thing to ask. Which is why I simply cannot let the man down. Tomorrow, in the Old Bailey, against my old friend, Kazuma. To be continued, baby! Sheesh! Holy fuck. That was a good episode. Only part 1, by the way. There's 3 more parts. That was super fucking good. Oh, God. This game is so fucking good. Ugh. But anyways, I hope you all enjoyed your time over here. Drago's so handsome. Alco, what the fuck? No. 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 Not really. No, Alco, I don't agree. I really don't agree. No. What do you mean, yes, King? No. Fuck no. Can't confirm Drago handsome. No. No, I don't agree. I mean, I appreciate it, but no. I'm sorry, Drago. It's confirm you're handsome. What the fuck? I'm sorry, Drago's confirm your hands. Trader can confirm Drago has. I saw you with my eyes. What the fuck? It's terminal. You can't hear it. Oh yeah, you're right. Hold on. Let me check my pulse. Yeah, you're right. I'm dead.
It's my stream. You can't take it over. No.
Hello. I our stream. Oh. You just had a heart attack. Yay. My power. Remember, everybody, comedy is all about timing and also scaring people, especially your friend. Did he just say yay? Maybe. Anyway, so this game's fucking awesome. This episode is really fucking good. There's 3 more parts. I'm gonna try to do it over the next couple of weeks. Because, yeah, the next 3 weeks are gonna be the only Fridays I'll be here. So,
perfect amount of time, right? So, yep, I'll be doing this every Friday at about the same time. So it's always gonna be 9 p.m. PST. But yeah, thank you for joining. I guess we're going into the first part of the trial tomorrow, so that's gonna be interesting. And Miss Drago, sorry much. Bruh. I miss you too, Forte. So like, the only plans I have for streams is the Ace Attorneys in the next couple of weeks. But like, I'll probably do some like spread out streams to just randomly. Like, I'll probably play Tears of the Kingdom randomly or something, and then you can see where I am at that game now. And maybe 14 stuff, maybe, I don't know. It's always a crapshoot with whoever I want to play for the day. So, but it's only like maybe 3 or 4 games. Yeah. Okay. Time to double save like a, a gremlin, and then, yeah. So, I'm gonna look for somebody to raid now. Sorry for making it awkward at the moment. Who is alive? That is the question. Always. Who the fuck is alive? Oh, Aru's online, actually. Oh, and they're playing Final Fantasy XIV Online, the game with the the free trial that goes up into Heaven's Ward, and also had a period of time where you could buy Stormblood for free on. You could get Stormblood for free. I don't know how, but you could at one point. But yeah, I will leave you all in the capable hands of Aru. Wait, what is Aru even doing in 14? Actually, let me go see. Aru is doing no money for Street Fighter 6, so more post Stormblood stuff, and also no one else to play. Oh, okay. Alright, so Aru is doing post Stormblood content. So go give a good old hi to Aru. And I will leave you all in their capable hands. I hope whoever joined during the raid had a good time for where we were, despite the incredibly high level of spoilers for this game. I'm very sorry. But yeah, I hope you had a good time while you're here. And yeah, I'll see you all probably next week. And if not next week, maybe earlier, But yeah, I will all leave you all with Aru. Okay, good night. Have a good raid. Bye.